In 1998, SCE Cambridge, who wasn't very well known at the time, would begin work on Medieval. Originally it's known as Dead Man Dan, and was very heavily inspired by Nightmare Before Christmas. I noticed this when I was first playing the game, since I was actually watching Nightmare Before Christmas for the first time in a long time. You play as Sir Daniel Fortescue, who was shot in the eye by Zarok's champion when he tried to take over a kingdom. Now 100 years later, Zarok is back and Dan is too. He is on a quest to not only stop Zarok, but also to prove himself as a true hero of Galamir. He gets help from many knights and even a witch on his journey to Zarok's lair to stop him and his evil magic and restore the kingdom back to peace. When you start off in the graveyard, you have your arm to detach and throw, as well as some daggers if you collected them in Sir Dan's crypt. You also have your trusty sword. However, the more monsters you kill in level, the more your chalice fills up. If you get a full chalice and survive the level, you get to go to the Hall of Heroes and meet some of Galamir's finest. They will help Dan by spotting funny things and giving him new weaponry, gold, and even life bottles which will expand his health bar. You can find life bottles all throughout the level, as well as bombs that will detonate and kill nearby monsters. You can also find shields and gold to buy stuff at the local merchant. There's also hidden trove of gold and a funny message hidden in Return to the Graveyard. If you look around carefully, here's a hint: look by the river. I really like the music in Medieval. It has a very creepy and gothic sound to it. Sometimes it can be peaceful or whimsical, like the Crystal Caves. My favorite is called Crypt and Graveyard. It has sort of a crescendo effect going for it. It's a really underrated soundtrack on the PlayStation. The zombies and other monsters have kind of a generic grunt and groan noise, but other things like Dan's voice are perfect. And you didn't get a really deep, kind of spooky voice like that until Medieval Remake. In Medieval 2, his voice was scary, and not in a good way. The strategy for most of the bosses in the game are pretty much being in the right spot at the right time and mash the attack button. If you do that, you will drain your health pretty quickly. My favorite bosses in the game though are the pumpkin boss from Pumpkin Gorge, because of everything pumpkin, and the pirate boss, since it feels a bit more creative having to time the shots with the cannon. The platforming in Medieval can be frustrating at times, as well as the camera. Since this is a PS1 game, it's sort of typical for its time. The most annoying levels are Pools of the Ancient Dead and the Lake, since there's so many places you can spawn to and lose a life bottle. Don't worry though, you can find health fountains and vials hidden throughout the level, which fortunately respawn when you come back. If you're looking for a great game to play for a season of October, let alone a great game in general, so look no further than Medieval. You can get a copy online for $40, or you can get the remake on the PS4, which is a gorgeous game, and an awesome remake on its own. But in my opinion, it makes the game a bit more cartoony, so it's up to you. There's also Medieval 2, which in my opinion is a really flawed game, and nowhere near as good as the original. There's also Medieval Resurrection, which is a fantastic remake on the PSP, but whichever way you go, at least give the first game a try, you won't regret it.